We're back with part 3 lecture on equilibrium for chapter 8. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase the amount of investment. We have the same numbers as before. We have 2,000 for our autonomous consumption. We have an MPC of 0.8, same as before. So our consumption equation is still C equal to $200 billion plus 0.8 y. Now investment used to be 1,000, now it's going to be 1,200. Again, these are all billions of dollars. So I put in the numbers already for consumption and savings. These were the numbers we had over here. So these two columns are the same. Which changes investment. And so on the exam, this would be a simple change. I would just put this now to be 1,200. Again, investment determined by rate of interest, determined by animal spirits, determined by new technology. So it's sort of an animal of its own. Again, probably some impact on income, but again, not as much as income would affect consumption. And then your aggregate expenditures is going to be C plus I. And again, just do what it says. That seems to be a problem for students. They don't understand it's C plus I. I think it's complicated. It's not. It's C plus I. C plus I. C plus I. C plus I. And so that would be 3,000. And 3,000. And also, going down, it's also going to be times by 800, so I can also just add 800 to it. I sort of do it that way, a little quicker. 5,400, 6,200, 7,000, and then 7,800. In our aggregate expenditure equation, it would be these two numbers added together as your constants, plus 0.8y. And so if I put in, say 8,000 right there, that'd be 6,400. Add that to that, that'd be 7,800. Look like I did it right. What I'm doing is I'm just checking the last one there. If I check the last one there and it comes out okay based on the equation, then the other ones here have to be right as well. It's hard to get that one being right by making a mistake in here. So equilibrium was at 6,000. Let's see where it is now, and now it's not. Now we have 6,200. So now we have unplanned inventories that are negative. We're buying $200 billion more than what they produced. It's like buying more cars than the dealership planned. Sales are good, they're up, but we're losing inventory, and inventory is going down by $200 billion. So now that's a no. So if inventory is going down, that means the sales are up. Businesses have to regain that lost inventory. They tell the supply chain, send more. That's going to increase production. And lo and behold, now they're equal. Now it's a yes. And now our unplanned inventory change is 0. Savings equal to investment. With the old table, we couldn't be at 7,000 because we didn't have enough spending. Investment was 1,000. But now we have more investment. Now the economy can expand to a higher level of income. That's the power of spending. Real fast, I'll just fill in these real fast. We're spending 1,400. We're producing nothing, so that'd be positive. Whoops, sorry, negative. Inventory is being depleted. Negative 1,400. We're spending 2,200. We're producing 1,000. Inventory is going down by 1,200. This would be a negative 1,000. Everything below equilibrium this way is all going to be negative. And now if we were at 8,000, we can't stay there. We don't have enough spending. That would be positive 200. And then all these are no's. No all the way down. And that's a no. We can also solve for equilibrium. by using algebra again. So what I did here is what I did on the other page. This is our consumption equation. That hasn't changed. Investment is now 1,200. I simply add them together. This is your consumption equation here. Right there. This is your investment. And together they're that. Equilibrium was this equation. I substitute this into aggregate expenditures. And now we're back to solving for y. I subtract 0.8y on both sides. That's gone. I got 0.2y over here. Yeah. I like putting the 0 in front of the point. I was taught that in math. I guess it looks nicer. And then divide by 0.2 on both sides. And so you take your calculator out, you go 1,400 divided by 0.2, and that'd be 7,000 billion. The table already told us. Now, because we solve for equilibrium, I'll put it in E there. Hopefully this makes sense. But I want to ask you a question. What I changed between the two tables, what I changed between the first table, investment was 1,000, to the second table, where investment is 1,200. I'll pause for a second. So my question is, we changed one thing. We increased investment by 200 billion, which means aggregate expenditures went up by 200 billion. However, equilibrium income did not go up by 200 billion. Equilibrium went from 6,000, correct, to 7,000. That's 1,000 billion. And the numbers are correct. I mean, we did everything right with the table and with the algebra. So the question is, where did the other 800 billion come from? How did $200 billion of new investment translate into $1,000 billion of overall more income, more production? What kind of magic is this? And the magic is known as the spending multiplier. This is an idea that was noticed by people before Keynes, but Keynes was the one that really brought it to popular knowledge. And it's ever since Keynes wrote his text, well, not his textbook, but his book of general theory in 1936, this has been part of macroeconomics ever since, and it's a very powerful concept, and it's true. This is true. Money, once it gets spent, does not disappear. We take very careful care of our money, and once money gets spent, it becomes someone else's income, and if someone has that income, what can they do with it? Well, they can spend or save it, and probably do a portion of each. So when $200 billion of investment first happened, that's $1 billion there again. The $200 billion was spent maybe on new structures, new factories, new machines, training for their workforce, for businesses. That was income spent to the manufacturers of those goods and services. And they had to pay their employees with that money, and those employees went out there and they bought things at local grocery stores, at local businesses, and those people had more income, and therefore they went out and they spent more as well, and so on and so on and so on. So money circulates. It gets spent, it gets respent, and it gets respent. And that's the multiplier process. And that'll be the topic of the next lecture.